Hi there, it's Dominic. I'm out in my garage, and I've been wanting to I've been wanting to make some videos about my writing process, a little bit about writing songs, and yeah. So I've just been, I just finished. Well, I didn't actually finish. I got a good start on this song, on this new song, and I thought I'd just talk a little bit about the process of it. So, like a lot of songs, this one was born out of just like a moment of inspiration. So I was feeling a little sad, and which is fine. It's sadness is a great emotion to mind, as well as any emotion really is a great emotion. The joy of love, sadness from whatever reason, tragedy. Uh, you know, life is just full of inspiration. Um, so I was feeling a bit down, and I was just thinking, you know, because I like to come out here if I'm like that sometimes, and I can take out whatever emotions I have on my guitar here, and it helps me, feel better. And so I was just thinking about that, I guess, a little bit, and so I had this little expression come in my mind for whatever reason. Sometimes a sigh, you know, and then is a lament. So okay, that's something. Sometimes a sigh, and then basically it was that phrase. So every song starts with just something. So I didn't have a whole concept. There's no like, oh, I have this set of chords or this great overriding idea for a song. It's just a little phrase popped in my mind, and that's how a lot of the songs that I write, and probably most songs, how they happen. Right. So we just went with that, and just started going from there. So sometimes a sigh, it's a lament, and so even in that first expression, sometimes they sigh. That you can see there's a little alliteration in there. So when I came up with the lament, loud is kind of, it just, one, it's alliterative, so it pops up in my mind really easy, because I think with alliteration a lot, because I spend a lot of time just writing really bad poetry. So I've got just like stacks of bad poems, which no benefit to anybody, but it did help me actually just put alliteration in my mind when I'm writing. It just helped me just not naturally, because it involved actual work, but it just one of those things that you do to help develop your mind, so it'll produce after you've hopefully stuck all that stuff in your mind. Right. So so this song, starts like that, and then I just had a little melody. It's just a simple. I didn't, and I was thinking, okay, well, I'll just write like this because it's so simple, and it's kind of close to like a million other songs. So sometimes a sigh is a loudest lament. So the come out of your mouth. Where's the sigh come from? So the slip from your lips, to come from your mouth. So slip from your lips kind of came to mind. So I put that in there. So if you know anything about music at all, you might have heard that first. If you're familiar with blues writing, say it's so this is a 1-4-5 song. It's like the one is I'm doing it in the key of E. So E is the 1, and then A is the 4. It's like 4 notes away from E, and then the 5 is after A is B, and then in blues the B is the 7th generally. So and I play in a couple different places here in the song, but right. So just started with that. So sometimes a sigh is the loudest lament, to slip from your lips when your love has been spent. Right, and that's the next line that came, and so this didn't have like a necessarily. I wasn't I'm not writing about a specific, heartbreak that I experienced. It's kind of generalized. I'm pulling from mine and other people's heartbreak. Everybody's heartbreaks. Yeah. Let's see, how's it go? So, right. Slip from your lips when your love has been spent. My heart is so cold, its eyes frozen so shut. So I'm just writing each line as it comes. I'm not really kind of seeing my end game, like where this is ending up at. Actually, I used rhyming dictionary for some of this because I want options. I'm thinking I'm not sure where to go. What kind of rhyme options are there for words I'm not planning ahead. So thinking, okay, I want to end by saying this, so I want the line before that or two lines before that to have this sound so I can rhyme it, right? So I'm not really doing that. I just write what I'm feeling, what I think works, and then looking at what rhyme options there are that I've painted, trying to unpaint myself from the corner basically. So I'm just writing what I feel, and painting myself in a corner basically, and then hoping there are some decent rhyme options, because sometimes there are not great rhyme options, but I was lucky this time. So yeah. See, I'll do the whole verse, and but it took some looking at the rhymes, and then and this verse happened over an afternoon actually. I was thinking it happened a little longer, but so I took the song. I have two more verses that I wrote. I wrote the second one, I think later that same day, the first same day, and maybe like the beginning of another one. So then I went to the park where I always go, and I ended up finished writing it there because it was a nice day, and I felt good, and felt like playing, working on that, and it all kind of came together. Sort of. So that's just like the lyrics. And so after I had that little thing, I was thinking, I don't, it's like E, A, B, like, it's pretty simple. A million songs like this. But I think with these words and this melody and the feeling behind them, the emotion, I feel behind them, I ended up feeling, okay, maybe I can keep this actually. But originally I was thinking, okay, I'll write the words out, and then I can put different music to it, and maybe come up with a more intricate or more compelling melody, possibly, I don't know. But then I realized, okay, this works. This communicates, very honestly and simply the emotion, and sometimes that's important. So then the next thing was just working out a bit of like the guitar underneath, what am I doing? It's kind of sparse of what I was doing before, sometimes it's sad. Just playing accent notes from the chords. So I decided to try just an arpeggio. So, and this is I think what I'm going to stick with. So basically arpeggiating like on the chords. So it's sometimes they sigh. It's a lot of slowness slip from your lips, and your love has been spent on a heart so cold, its eyes frozen so shut. Can't see your pain, no matter how deep the cut. Sometimes they cry. It's the softest lament slip from your eyes. So I'm just gonna stop there because there's a bit going on. So when I first wrote that little bit, that first verse, on my little demo recording, so I recorded myself, after I kind of written it out because I don't want to forget anything. It's fresh stuff. Always record everything you do, even the crappy stuff. Record it and keep it for a while. Maybe eventually, realize, okay, this is not doing you any good, and delete it. Whatever, make some space on your whatever phone or whatever. So I recorded that, and then after that verse, I played like a couple, went to the A, so I just playing around with that a little bit. So I just had a couple of chords in that first recording, but I extrapolated from that after I wrote the first verse, and after I decided to arpeggiate that part, I realized, a contrast would be really nice there. So I decided to really go soft on the thing and emote a lot, emote the words because the kind of emotional words. But then between those verses, let this thing, my guitar, do the emoting, with some good, strong, not busy chords, and yeah. So I think it worked out all right. And so you heard a little bit of the second verse. So I'm basically taking the first verse. So sometimes a sigh is the loudest lament. And so I wanted to kind of stay in the theme and also rhyme. So I keep the lament part, and also sometimes a cry, it's all kind of same word, and then a rhyme is the softest lament. So it's just a different way of describing a lament. So, and it goes on from that. So I've got 3 verses right now, and I'm just thinking, I've just played through it for the first time by myself. I played it for somebody earlier today and realized that, okay, this is working actually. And but I just played it here, and I was thinking, I might need a 4th verse to kind of resolve things just a little bit. So this is the weird thing, because of that whole. It's kind of like a fill-in for a chorus. This song, I think, is not going to have a chorus or a bridge. It's just going to be pure emotional verses, and then some release in between them. And because I want it to be like a simple lament, basically, and I do have another song that's kind of based off a lament. Literally, I came here one night. I was brokenhearted, and I just let this thing just came out of me, and that's a whole different song, and it ended up being more complicated than that simple thing. But it took a couple of years. So anyway, but this song is a lament, and so I want to keep it simple. And that's basically all I really want to say. And if you're still listening, thanks for hanging out with me, and I'll try to write another verse, I think, and then present the whole song finished. All right? Okay. Until next time.